Please join me in the pledge. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Renee, would you lead us in prayer?
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for allowing us to assemble today. Please help us, give us the strength to seek out the needs in our communities to benefit others. Please bless the food to the nourishment of our bodies. And please guide us safely as we go back to our works and homes. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Is Nelson here? I didn't see Nelson. Okay, first verse of Rotary. R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary. R-O-T-A-R-Y is known on land and sea. From north to south, from east to west, he profits most who serves the best. R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary. A little slower without Nelson leading us. I don't know about you, but I thought the food was excellent again today. Let's give Natalie's a round of applause. I see that Butch and David have anniversaries. David Winberry have birthdays this week, rather. So, Butch, we wish you a happy birthday in the coming week.
Thank you.
Phil Hackers, I didn't see Phil. He has a wedding anniversary this coming week. Today is my 5-year anniversary as a member of the club. Yeah, good. Brian also has been a member for 3 years this week. And Wayne will have been a member for 1 year this week. So lots of anniversaries. Great job this last week. Had a lot going on in the club. I think everything went very well. I know Amanda will tell us about how we did on the lawnmower raffle. I think the Arbor Day event went very well. You see the trees that are planted around the community center. We helped do that, as you know. The trap shoot tournament was a great success from what I understand. We have the Rotaract Club represented here today. Their form was signed this last week, so they are almost close to being official. I think they have one more step or two, but they are on the road to being an official Rotaract Club, so that's great. We have the May 19th district bike ride coming up for the district event. Ron, you want to say anything, Sergeant at Arms? Got his mouth full of food. Well, that's a good thing for him.
This is so good, I have nothing to say. I'm going to keep eating.
Very good.
I'm not going to make anyone else say anything because they're in here.
Amanda, Secretary's report.
Okay, we have a couple of guests here today. I have with me today David Smith from Block Insurance. Here, he's my guest today. And Butch, do you want to?
We got Big Daddy Randy Allen, CEO from the radio station.
And then we have Renee Brink here, our District Governor Assistant. She's not really a guest, but she's here with us today.
Hey, Renee.
And I see Zach from Lyon is here as well. He's not really a guest either, but welcome, Zach. Okay, so my trap shoot report goes as the trap shoot itself, we made $4,870. After expenses, it was $2,762.20. The mower raffle, we made $6,480, and after the expense of the mower, we made $3,580 for a grand total of $5,687.80. That's the best we've ever done. I want to thank Johnny Kent and Ron Carter, Cassandra Skelton, Kim Tucker, Brenda Henley, Aaron Green, Deanna Green, and Greg, Dennis Moore, Barrett Moore, Ryan Puckett, Kurt Grafton, and Dale Cole, all for coming out and helping and really pushing those ticket sales and coming in at the last minute and getting me some extra teams. So I couldn't have done it without you guys. I really appreciate it.
12 teams, right?
12 teams.
12 teams.
Yeah, wonderful.
Great event.
And you were worried about it.
I was really worried. We only had 7 on Monday.
Yeah, I know.
I too was worried, so she was not alone.
It's your
A
job.
lot of
to work.
prayer going on last week. A lot of prayer.
Yes,
One person in here deserves the most applause.
Amanda, absolutely. Dwight, you want to say anything about the treasurer's report?
Only if you haven't paid your invoice, please do. We have several outstanding invoices, and then it's already almost March 31st, so we're going to be sending them out again. So we need the money so we can pay our bills.
Very good. He may have to send Guido out.
Deanna, do you want to say anything about service?
I know that you could hold the day for the second weekend in June for the yard sale, our annual yard sale. It's typically been the first weekend in June, but we moved it back a week this year. It'll be Friday and Saturday. So please be collecting your items so that we can sell those. And we'll have Thursday evening before it starts to drop everything off.
We're still gonna do it at the fairground? We are, okay. I knew you talked last year about doing it somewhere else. Okay.
Donna, I know I didn't warn you about this before, but I know Donna and Dennis both went to PETS this weekend. So that's the pre-op president-elect training seminar for the presidents and president-elects. And where was it, Portsmouth? Okay, great. You want to tell us just a little bit about that? Was it a good
As soon
experience?
as I chew my strawberry.
Yeah, I know. I'm catching you
Keep catching me
off
one.
guard
This is
here.
the eatingest table. I think I've ever.
The late eating is table.
If you've never been and had the opportunity to go to PETS, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was excellent. I'm sure other people have gone and say that too, but I'll let Donna say something.
It was amazing. I was there with Renee, got to see her a lot over the weekend. I have to I guess the most exciting part was Saturday when I actually had a moment to sit and ponder the whole thing. Just sitting back in the excitement and the inspirational things you heard and just the excitement of other Rotarians was, it was very heartwarming. It was. And their service and that all of the wonderful ideas that you can glean from, and they're all willing to share their ideas. I have several as far as just service projects, fundraising projects, and just how to get your club going and active. And I was pretty excited about it. I'm looking forward to next year to learn more.
Good. Well, we have an induction now. Johnny, would you come forward?
So better get my notes in. Kim, will you join me at the front? It is my pleasure, fellow Rotarians, to induct Kimberly Tucker into the club today. We will call her Kim. First thing I want to do, Kim, is give you your name badge. We're doing this a little different today, so that you can put that on and find yourself a place in the box at the end of the time and wear that new member badge for a few banner. That's a ribbon. I have been doing this forever, and if I could remember what a ribbon was, I never get it right. What I'd like for you to do, since I don't have a resume on you, is come to the mic and tell the club about yourself, your family, your work experience, and what brought you to Batesville and to Rotary.
Okay. Well, Kim Tucker. I am originally from Mountain View, graduated high school there, and went to Lyon College, graduated from Lyon in 2005, I think, and then started my work career at DHS, and I worked for DHS for several years. Took a little bit of a hiatus there and went to nursing school, so I've kind of been all over the place. I worked at DHS until May of 2016. And then I went the next fall and started as the Director of Events and Volunteer Services at United Way. And when the previous director resigned, I was chosen as the new director. So I've been the director since this past fall. We live in Concord now, so I'm in Cleveland County. And I've been married for going on 11 years. We have a 9-year-old daughter, a 7-year-old boy, and an infant at home. So there's no sleep. And that's about it. It's me in a nutshell.
All right. Kim, we come to Rotary for a lot of different reasons. We come for fellowship. We come for good food, like Natalie brought us today. But mostly we come for service, because as you already have discovered, our motto is service above self. Our founder, Paul Harris, in 1905, he and 3 other business people in Chicago got together just to have lunch and fellowship, and they decided they would rotate around among their offices for meetings, and that's how we got our name as Rotarians. We are a worldwide organization. Our main accomplishment in the past has been the elimination of polio. And it's a pride to know that only 3 nations in the whole world now are not polio free. We will ask you to volunteer for projects, because any worthwhile project going on in the city of Batesville, you raise the blanket and you'll find Rotarians there, hard at work. Planting trees. I mean, Mr. President, I saw those trees Thursday night, and I said, I wonder which one is buried. And Star said, when I told her that there was a tree for each member, she said, well, which one is Johnny? I said, don't know. I don't know. We want you to be actively involved. I would like to ask you each week to sort of sit around at the different tables and meet different people, and then you can kind of settle in with the group. Probably won't be the old guys that kind of sit together, because we only sit together because we need each other to help us get up after the meeting's over. Welcome to Rotary. Give her a big welcome hand. Call her Kim. Mr. President, you can have the floor.
Thank you. Welcome, Kim. And Fred did a great job as our door greeter today. Let's give Fred a round of applause. David Winberry is up next week. Are there any other announcements for good of the club or community? If not, I'll invite Amanda to come introduce our speaker today.
Today we're going to hear from Mike Wilson. Michael is a retired U.S. Air Force of 23 years as Chief Master Sergeant, Aircraft Maintenance Superintendent for the B-52s. He worked 12 years as General in Air Carrier Maintenance, retired Federal Aviation Administration as an Aviation Safety Inspector and a Safety Program Manager after 14 years. He's been married to Carolyn, his wife, for 50 years. They have 2 daughters, Rhonda and Kelly, and 3 grandchildren, Shelby, Laney, and Logan, all living in Independence County. He moved to Batesville in 1993 and joined the FUMC. He's retired from the FFA on October of 2014, and his main hobby is volunteering. So there we might have another potential Rotarian right here in our midst. So let's get him an application before he leaves. You guys would welcome Mike.
As he's going to the podium, if we could do that, we'd have a good Rotarian.
Good.
That's great.
Well, I can just induct you now.
Yeah, that's all right, John, thank you. Thank you for inviting me here. I was asked to talk about our warming center. There are at least 3 or 4 people right now who've already served in our warming center. We opened the warming center, first of all, it's First United Methodist Church. It's in the Grammar House. It's a small wood frame building on the back corner of our lot. It has 2 bedrooms. We have beds in there for 5 people right now, and are looking for another set of bunk beds. So we can put 2 bunk beds and 2 single beds, or a single bed in each one of our bedrooms. We have 2 bedrooms. When we have people in the facility, we have people stay with them. We generally start with 1 man or 2 men, and if a lady shows up, we'll call a lady in. And we never have a lady stay in the house unless we've got a lady in there with us. We only have one bathroom facility, so we have to watch those things. But we started about 3 years ago. Most of you know Justin Ledbetter. He's our pastor. And Justin and I were riding around in my truck. I'm the lay leader of the church, and we do that quite often, ride around and talk. And that was the year we had the gentleman freeze to death in the bank teller lock. And Justin was heartbroken over that. So we batted it around for about 10 minutes, and I said, all right, let's just do it. So we did. We opened up the Grammar House. We started out with 2 beds and couches, and since then, this year, between February the 14th, 12th or 14th, December the 12th or 14th through February the 14th or 15th, we were open 35 nights. And the temperature, we open when the temperature is below 25, and we allow them to stay there the entire night. We open the doors at 6 o'clock and close the doors at 8 o'clock the next morning. Kind of heartbreaking to have to put somebody out when it's still 19 degrees, but at least the sun is shining. So we supply them with an evening meal. If they want an evening meal, we feed them breakfast. We allow them a shower. We furnish them with coats, with clothes. We give them a clean, warm place to sleep. And like I said, this past winter we were open 35 nights. And that's included Christmas Eve and Christmas night. And we had anywhere from 1 person stay to 6. And the night we had 6, I had to drag a cot out and put up for another. We had a police department brought us 4 just above teenagers who were sleeping in a car at Hogs. And the police brought them to us, and they stayed the night with us. We couldn't convince them to come back the next night, but at least we got them off the street one night. The police, what we normally do is call the police department dispatcher about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the day of we're going to be open, and tell them that we're going to be open. And we have a single dispatcher here that takes care of the fire department and the county and the city. So they dispatch. If any of them find someone that needs shelter, they bring them to us. And they've done that on a number of occasions. We've also had people just drive down the street and see someone that needs someplace to go, and they bring them to us. And so our shelter's doing something. We're the closest thing to a homeless shelter that Independence County has. And it hurts my soul to know that we don't have one. Don't have a real, no kidding, homeless shelter. Most folks don't believe we have a lot of homeless folks here in town. Just come to Saturday morning breakfast at our church. We've been running a Saturday morning breakfast for 5 years now. May will be 6 years, as a matter of fact. Started in May 5 years ago. And we serve 10 pounds of sausage, 10 pounds of bacon, 12 dozen eggs, a gallon and a half of gravy, 100 biscuits, a mountainous bowl of fresh fruit salad, all fresh, and juices, orange juice, cranberry juice, apple juice, and milk for them, provide coffee and all of that. And we have anywhere from our first morning we were open, I think we had 4, but we've had as many as 100 come in to have breakfast with us. So we fix breakfast every morning for 88 people. That's what we figured the number to be. And if it's more than that, we stretch it out. If it's less than that, we allow them to take home to-go cups, to-go baskets. And if we have any abundance left over that, we take it to the women's shelter. And I have a good working relationship with those ladies. And they also share it with the Charles Taylor House. So we're serving the community the best we can with what we've got. And what pleases me most about this, it's a mission. This mission that we have in our churches, it hasn't cost our church a nickel, not 1 nickel, except for the utilities for the building. Everything that we spend for the breakfast, everything that we put in the Grammar House, all the updates and things like that, have been donations. And 3 years ago, I guess, I wrote a short letter and put it in our bulletin for the breakfast was running low on cash, and I told them we needed money. I got $7,000 that Sunday. So this is a generous town, This is a good town. I just wish we could build a shelter, get a shelter. I saw something that excited me a little bit last night on television. Down in Little Rock or North Little Rock, they're building a village of tiny houses. And they're going to open those up, some of those up for the homeless. So I know Autumn Hunter and the group she works with is trying to set up something, but they're looking for something along the lines with Jacob's House, like they have in Searcy. And that accounts for families. We don't have a lot of families. We have a lot of single individuals where they're either living in their car, they're living under the bridge, or they're 5 or 6 of them are living in an old trailer that has no heater water. One night we had one of the ladies who'd been staying with us on a regular basis, her house burnt down. She had no utilities in the house, no water, no heat, nothing. And she had another gentleman who slept out in front of her house in a tent. The fire was so hot it burned out his tent as well. And so we spent about 12 hours worried to death that we'd lost 2 of ours being burned up, because they were found later. But what you guys do is a wonderful thing, volunteering. I said that my hobby is volunteering, and that's pretty much what it is. When I retired, well, before I retired, my wife and I both worked with Help and Hope. My wife worked with them about 25 years, and I worked with them about 5 years. And I've been with Habitat since it started. And so we try to volunteer where we can. But in my case, my church is where I do 99% of my volunteering. But I would ask that if you have the desire to help, we're always looking for volunteers to stay. In this summer, I think we've decided to run it as a cooling center as well. Open it up when the temperature's above 95, so they can come in out of the heat. Open it about 9 o'clock in the morning and close it about 6 or 7 at night, and that'll keep them out of the heat the majority of the day. So we'll be looking for volunteers to do that. But if we do, I'll sure let Johnny and the rest of these folks know. But we're always looking for those kind of volunteers. There's been some press about our blessing box. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but one of our members came up with a suggestion that we build a blessing box. And what it is a thing we'll talk about like a mailbox. It's got a glass door on it, clear door on it, and we put food and scarves and hats and cosmetic, things people need, toothbrush, toothpaste. We put them in there, and it's only 50 feet from the front door of our church, and sometimes we have to fill it up 3 times a day. People in need are taking that much. So we've even caught people out in the community driving by and sticking stuff in. So that's what we want. That's why it was put up, so people in the community would have the opportunity to help as well. And that box is there if you want to donate. I wish I'd have thought and brought some of the prayers and the thank you notes we've got. We've probably had a dozen or so thank you notes written and put in that box, thanking us for having it out there. So that's putting volunteers where all it be. Okay, there's so many options here in town for you to volunteer. Help and Hope, Habitat, the Rotary, what you guys do, and I'm sure what the Kiwanis do. I'm not familiar what their goal is.
They don't do anything.
Oh, they don't sell tires anyway. But please take any opportunity you can. A short story. We had a gentleman. Let me get a drink of water. Excuse me. We had a gentleman who frequented our church a lot, and we called it Big John. And Big John was a homeless guy that lived down on the river, and he was one of these people that just looked angry. Everybody was afraid of him in church. And often or not, he'd ask me to take him to Walmart or something like that, so I'd carry him to Walmart. He wouldn't say a word on the whole trip, carrying him back. But one day, I was going to Walmart, And when I got ready to go into Walmart, I saw John sitting on one of those benches inside Walmart and thought to myself, boy, I don't want to put John in the truck today. So I went to the other door and I parked at the other door. And I went in, I got my groceries. When I came around that end, I saw him still sitting there. So I circled, I went out the cash register the other end. Got in my truck, drove from there to the gas station at Walmart. I'm pumping gas, and as I'm standing here, I had a gentleman come up, lay his hand on my shoulder and said, "Can you take me and my wife to the doctor?" And that was God telling me I shouldn't pass John. You know? So I loaded them in my truck, and I took them to the doctor, and turned around and came back, but John was gone. So somebody else is giving him a ride. But when you see the opportunity, don't pass it up. Take it, all right? Those people out there really, really do need your help. A lot of folks think they don't work just because they don't want to work. That's not true. Most of them just don't have either the education or the physical strength to do it. You know, the only place you eat is in churches. You can't build up enough strength to do much of a job. We have one family that comes to our breakfast. It's a gentleman, and he's got 3 boys. The only meals they eat are in churches. So there's people out there in need. If you see a need, answer it, please, any way you can. Any questions?
Mike,
Yes.
you talked about the night that you drug out the cot. Do we have a contingency plan if it gets more crowded than that? I mean, the longer the message gets out about this, the more people we're probably going to attract. What do we do when we get beyond our capacity?
Pallets on the floor. I've got 4 or 5 sleeping bags I can put on the floor. We can even allow, we've got, in the living room, we've got 3 couches that are big enough for people to sleep on. That's where people like David and Randy and Barrett and I sleep when we stay in this place. So you already have 4 people in this room that service that as chaperones, yeah. And our wives do too. Our wives, if we have a lady there, I'll call my wife, or I'll call Rebecca Richmond, and she'll be there, or Gail Ross, they'll be there. They're just, yes, and the other, to get one more bunk bed and put it in what we call it the men's room and the ladies' room. And the ladies' room only has 2 single beds in it. And the men's room has a set of bunk beds and a larger bed. So if we were able to if we had a family, we could put a family in a single room. We have locks on the doors so they can lock the bedroom separately. You know, if someone comes in and has to, is going to be there for a number of days for some reason, then they can lock the door and secure their stuff inside. But thus far we hadn't had that need, but it's there. Yes, sir.
How many people do you think are homeless in this community?
Really, no kidding. The difference in homeless is, my definition of homeless is somebody sleeping under a bridge or in their car. We've probably got 15,
Okay.
10 to 15. We've got probably 75 to 100 with 5 or 6 people living in one house. And the government definition of homeless is if something happened to your children and they lost, your son-in-law passed away and your daughter moved back with all your grandchildren, and they were in your house and they weren't supplying any income to the house, they'd be homeless. That's the government definition. That's not a real definition. I'm talking about people that are sleeping on the ground or sleeping in their cars. And
We've been meeting off and on now, probably 2 or 3 years, to try to get a homeless shelter
yes, sir, I've
started
been to you a couple
in our community.
Yeah.
We're meeting again on March the 26th. Would love for you to come to that meeting.
Okay.
Because the last meeting we had 2 weeks ago, our police chief said, we don't have any homeless people in Batesville.
Oh.
And so I know we have about 150 homeless people through our school system.
That's right.
And so I'd love for you to come, because we're getting resistance from some of the people in the community trying They just don't want to recognize the problem.
No, it's there, it's really there.
Well, I know it is.
Like I say, there's 5 or 6 of them living in a trailer that has no power, or no water, or nothing. They'll live in, one of them will have a house, and there'll be 8 or 9 people just, bunking there. That's all they're doing, is just going in there and bunking there. They don't do anything to the house, they don't pay any utilities, they don't have water, they don't have anything. That's why these houses burned down. There's several of these houses over on the west side that are burned down. Through Habitat, we're trying to build a small community over in Habitat we've got 4 houses over there now, and we put the only park in west side over there. We have from Habitat. And we're looking to put in some more houses out in Spring Valley. We've got some lots out there that are available to us, so we're probably gonna build out there again. But, yes, sir, I'd love to. I'd love to.
I'll give you the location in just a few minutes.
But,
Of those 35 nights, did you have any repeat people come back?
oh, yes, sir.
No?
I had one guy that slept, we had one guy that slept every night.
Every night?
Every night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Name's David. He comes to breakfast every Saturday. If he's not at breakfast, we're worried about him. I mean, these people have become family to us, all right? Because we see them every week. I see them more often than I don't see my own grandchildren most of the time. So they bring their concerns to us, their problems to us. And it's sad when you've got so many people come in and have so many problems you can't have. Had a lady ask for prayers because her daughter had lost her 4 children to DHS. She wasn't praying for them to get the children back. She was praying for her daughter to get herself right so she could get her children back.
Mike, so many people have a fear of the homeless person as being somebody who would attack them, they wouldn't be safe around. That's not your experience, is it?
No, it's not. By the vast majority of them, I've never had Big John, the guy talking about, he's the only one that ever concerned me. And he's bigger than David. I mean, he's a big man. And he always looks mad. He always looks mad. But, and he wanted to get up in your face and talk to you like this, but it's because he's blind. He can't see. And he wanted to get close enough to you to see, so. But I've never had any of them offer me any problem. Now I will tell you, I've had some of them come to our breakfast. I've had some of them come into our shelter that I know they're high on drugs. But I'm not gonna put them back out in the cold just because they're on drugs. I've had them offer to allow us to go through their bags. You know, most of them will carry a handbag with some clothes or some stuff in it. I'm not gonna do that either. I'm gonna ask them and tell them we don't allow smoking, we don't allow weapons, we don't allow drugs, and they all tell me they don't. And if they don't, they don't. I'm the kind of guy I'm a 3/4 full kind of guy, you know. I take everybody at their word. If they tell me they're gonna do something, they are gonna do it till they don't. And then we'll do something about it.
But our goal, Mike, is to have at least 2 people stay in the shelter when it's occupied. So
Yes.
you're not alone if you volunteer, but
No.
we really do need volunteers for the shelter.
Yes, we do. And Barrett's volunteered a number of times. David's my Friday guy. And Randy volunteers on the weekends when he's not off doing something with football or basketball. So, I bring my wife up there. I wouldn't take my wife into a situation where I thought she was in danger. I never would do that. So, you can contact the church or you can contact Barrett. Barrett always knows how to get a hold of me. So, any way that you guys would like to help, we'd love the opportunity. We could use money, we can use help, just whatever. A set of bunk beds, if you got an old set of bunk beds, that'd help. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Mike, we have a literacy campaign. We'll donate a book in your honor to the local library. If you will, I don't think you're participating in the Joker draw, so if you pick our winning ticket, please.
It better be one of these.
$1,600 now, I think.
Actually, over 17.
$1,700. Half of that could be yours.
231-8730.
That's
8730.
our number.
It worked.
It worked?
It's his birthday this week, too. This could be it. This could be it.
Last man standing.
Hey, Butch, I saw where it was. How much?
Not that one.
Everybody goes on.
Better luck next time.
Yeah, I know, almost didn't get enough.
There are no other announcements for the good of the club or community.
Yeah.
Well, and as we always do, four-way test. Number one, is it the truth? Number two, is it fair to all concerned? Number three, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And number four, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Have a great week.